Hi everybody! Welcome to my channel if you're new. Thank you so much for revisiting if you've seen my videos before. I am going to be showing you my full face foundation routine for having acne. I'm going to be showing you the routine that so far I have figured out that works the best for me. Everybody is going to have a preference, something that works out better for you. I'm just hoping to kind of help some people along that want a little bit of extra help, that aren't sure of what to do or how to deal with the situation. Let's move on and I will show you how I go from a bare naked face to full coverage foundation. Hi guys, so before I start into this routine, I wanted to touch base on a few things with you guys. First of all, the topic of acne is usually a pretty sensitive and touchy one. There's a lot of people that have had to deal with this for years, me being one of them. I started to have acne in about the 5th grade. That's when it started to get really bad. I dealt with it pretty much until I graduated high school. I had my ups and downs. And then when I had my daughter is when it started to get really bad again. So it's kind of in an in-between stage right now. Maybe you want to keep that in mind. The other thing is the topic of acne and makeup. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that makeup does not affect acne, because it does. And there's a lot of things that can make it worse, but there's a lot of things that you can do that will attribute to helping prevent breakouts or making things worse. As far as products go, what you want to look for is mineral-based and water-based. And also there should be a label on certain products that says non-comedogenic. I just looked that up today to make sure. I'm not positive that's how you pronounce it, but I think so. So if your product says that that is what it is, it's a sure tell sign that it's made for more sensitive skin, acne-prone skin. Just look for those types of things. Be aware of what you're putting on your face. Second of all, always clean your makeup brushes. You'd be surprised the difference that can make. Third, always wash your makeup off before you go to bed. Do not leave that on. It will bite you in the ass. Now that we had that little chit chat, let's move on to this full face, full coverage, cover that acne up girl foundation routine. The first thing that you always want to keep in mind is prepping your skin. I cleaned my skin about 30 minutes ago, let that moisturizer suck into my... Whoa. I let my moisturizer just absorb into my skin for about 30 minutes. It's nice and absorbed that way. Also, you want to use certain primers that are great for your skin type. Do your research, see what's going to be good for you. I love Professional. I have pores T-zone, normal areas like that. So that's where I'm going to be putting this. All you need is about that much. That might even be a little extra, but you know. When you're applying this, you want to pat it into your skin, and that way it will actually go into those pores and fill them in and do what you want it to do. Next, I'm going to be using my Fix Plus, and I'm going to douse my face in this to have it even more primed, to get those areas that I didn't touch with the Professional. So I use 2 different color correctors, not at the same time. I kind of go back and forth depending on what I want to do that day, but when I really want to cover something up, I usually use a flesh tone one instead of color correcting. Today I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetic Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector in a medium. I started using this because I got the Most Wished For palette, and as you can tell, the medium shade I've already hit pan on. I've been using the crap out of this. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Small Conceal brush. I have a lot of small red bumps on my face. They're all over, so what I usually go for is trying to just cover up the bigger ones, because I would have a full face of corrector if I try to just cover up everything. Nobody's got time for that. When I first got this in the palette, I kind of had to go through a new layer to get through to the creaminess of the product. They do sell this in full size. Another thing that you want to remember when you're using this is to not cake it on. You don't want to make anything thicker than you need it to be. Also, don't remember to blend too much because we're going to be doing that when we go in and blend the foundation out. Speaking of foundation, that is, of course, our next step. This is IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I am in shade Fair. This foundation is just so great for acne or any skin that has any kind of texture in it. So for blending out your foundation when you have acne, not just acne, I would recommend this to anybody. Totally go in with a sponge. If it's the Beauty Blender, Real Techniques, you know, it doesn't matter. I think they're both great. I prefer the Beauty Blender. I think that this is best because it won't make anything patchy on your bumps if you have them. It just really makes it smooth and flawless. I'm using about that much. I mean, this is a full coverage face that we're going to be doing, so, you know, you might want to use a little bit less foundation if you want to, but I am into full coverage. It's amazing to have a CC cream that you can build up all the way to full coverage. I don't know anybody with acne that wouldn't love that. You want to always put a little bit down your neck. When blending, be sure to really push in the foundation. The whole point of using a sponge is to flawlessly fill in the problem areas you wouldn't normally be able to get to. I like to make sure that my sponge is damp but not sopping wet. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do after that's all blended is you want to just take a minuscule amount on the back of your hand, very small, like that, and go over the places that you need extra coverage. That's why I love this foundation. It's so buildable, so beautiful on the skin. I like to do this instead of using more concealer on top in those spots because I feel like it doesn't cake up as much, especially with the CC cream. Okay. After you have everything all blended out, good to go, you're going to go in with your concealer. So this concealer I use for also highlighting, and it is, of course, the Tarte Shape Tape. This is so full coverage, but yet it blends in with the foundation so nicely. It's just such a great, great concealer. I love this. I'm spoiled now and I can't use anything else. You want to make sure that you don't go too far out of the areas that you're concealing and highlighting at this point. Like I was saying, less is always more. I like to put a little bit right there too because I get so much redness right there and a lot of little bumps. So I make sure that that is set and put. So because I know that that's one of the places that my foundation rubs off the easiest too. The Tarte Shape Tape has such a great shade selection. Usually I have a really hard time finding a fair enough concealer to actually highlight my skin tone. Same going with the darker shades, you guys. These are just extremely spot on. Okay, and then another little trick that I do is with the leftover concealer, I go over these spots that are still kind of left right there. The reason I do this is because I don't want a bunch of concealer on them because I feel like it would be too heavy, but just using a little tiny bit makes it just right to where it blends out good too. So much better. What I've been doing to set my foundation for powder is I've been taking the Fit Me Translucent Powder by Maybelline and making it into a loose powder. I just take a brush and I just scrape a little bit off to where it gets nice and powdery. When I'm doing a full face, I always bake, so that's why you want to have a loose powder. And I just feel like this Fit Me powder is so good to bake with. I just started doing this recently and I just love the way it looks on my skin. I'm just going to be taking the Real Techniques contour brush. This is such a great little brush to just get in there. I also do use it for contouring too. I think it's very useful as an all-over face kind of brush. You can use this to highlight with. So you could probably even use it for blush. It's great and affordable. And you're going to want to take a lot of powder and put that in the places that we concealed. And then what's left over on my brush, you can tap it off if there's a little extra on there, but you're just going to want to take the remaining product and kind of dust it over in the other places where you just need a little tiny bit of powder. You can even skip this step if you want to. I just like to do this to make sure everything is going to stay put. Very lightly, very little. And you notice that I did not do that all over my face. I just did it in the places that I need it. Okay, so you just want to let this sit on your face for, I don't know, probably around like 3 to 5 minutes. 5 could be a little max, but you know, you'll kind of feel it tightening and doing its thing, and use your better judgment on when you want to wipe this off, but definitely 5 minutes max. I'm just going to take that same brush and wipe off the bake. Usually after I'm done with that, I go in with a setting spray, and I usually do this twice. First time being right now, and then also when I'm completely done with my makeup. I think that doing it right after this is done is just going to lock it in place a lot longer than it would just doing it once, because you're about to go in with a bunch of other different products when you're doing a full face. So using this is just going to make it not be able to budge. Let it sit in for a second and you'll be good to go. I'm just using the All Nighter setting spray from Urban Decay. It's such a great one. They have, this is my travel size, so they have those at, I got mine at Ulta right now. If you're wanting to try it, totally go for it. I think it's only like 15 bucks for this travel size. Another thing when you're doing that, don't do it too close to your face. Usually I even do it farther away, but for the purpose of being on camera, I put it a little closer. But if you get that right up on your face, it's gonna melt your foundation off. Trust me, because I've done it a time or two. I'm just gonna go finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so that was my full foundation routine for covering up acne. That's pulling out all the stops. I like to find a good point between not having enough coverage and being overdone, because I feel like sometimes when you cover up something too much, then, you know, it can have the results of you wish you would have never even went there. I just really hope that, you know, this helped somebody. Like I said in my intro, just everybody's gonna have their own way of doing this. I really made this video to just help people out there and hopefully give them some advice on different things that you can do. Maybe just popped a new idea in your head, showed you a new product. I really, really recommend the foundation that I use, the It Cosmetics CC Cream. I just feel like it works so good for acne prone skin because it goes on nice and smooth, feels lightweight, and it's hard to find that kind of coverage with those qualities. I definitely think it's worth it. You guys should at least try it out. What's there to lose, right? Investing in a good foundation is better than going through a bunch of drugstore foundation, and in the end you'd spend more money going through that stuff than finding an actual foundation that you really liked that just has a higher price tag. They have it for a reason. It's worth it. If you're going to invest in anything high end, I seriously believe that it should be a foundation. I was feeling a little Christmassy, so I just threw up some tinsel back here, and it makes me feel all sparkly and good inside. If you guys enjoy full coverage acne foundation routine videos, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you want to see new videos as soon as I put them out. Hope everybody has a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye, you guys.